appreciate the opportunity to be with you all today. I lived in Rosemont, actually, for a few years. I had the opportunity to work for the village of Rosemont under the able direction of Mr. Dorgan back in the day. One of the kind of more memorable moments of my life was the job interview I had with Mayor Don Stevens. So he asked me a couple questions, and one of them was where I went to school. And I said, well, I got my undergraduate degree from Northwestern. And he said, so you're one of those smart guys, right? Except he didn't use the word guy. It was a little bit more colorful than that. I said, well, opinions vary. But one of the things that I learned with working with Jack and other folks in Rosemont and West Central Cook County is that in Cook County politics, in state of Illinois politics, in order to go up against the Chicago Democrats, we need street fighters. And for the last decade in our party, particularly at the statewide level, if we're being real honest with ourselves, we have not had street fighters. The folks on the other side never relent. They never stop. They keep coming at us. And we, as a party, every time one of these bullies has poked a finger in our chest, we have taken a step back. And as soon as you do that, they got you. We need to take the fight to the Chicago Democrats in this election cycle, hold them accountable for what has happened on their watch, and importantly, point the direction forward for this state and our party. And I was interested to recall what Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey, had to say on election night back in November, right? Chris Christie, not a conservative firebrand, kind of an establishment Republican, career prosecutor. Remember what he said on election night during his victory speech? We're going to go down to Trenton, and we're going to turn Trenton upside down. Chris Christie got the message. The New Jersey Republican Party got the message. In a high-tax state, in a high-cost-of-doing business state, like New Jersey, like Illinois, folks are not settling for warmed-over talking points from the Reagan era. They are not settling for tinkering on the margins. They want to see a state government that reflects the values and the interests of the folks who finance it. So the value proposition of my candidacy in a phrase, very simple, policy revolution. And I mean that word revolution. A complete rethinking and reordering of all of the big ticket systems in state government, not a single one of which is financially sustainable in its current form, not a single one of which serve the folks who pay the bills in this state, who receive very little back from their government in terms of either benefits or services. I'm talking about the folks who basically with household incomes between $45,000 and $100,000 who get squeezed from both sides, who don't have a guaranteed public pension, but are still on the hook to pay for multiple public pensions for the politically connected, who tell their kids to take your academics seriously, put together a good scholastic record, and maybe you can get into a quality state college or university that mom and dad can afford, and instead see their kids shunted aside, their kids with superior academic records put to the back of the line, while kids with superior clout are put to the front of the line. If we want to be a majority party in this state again, and we can be, we need to speak for the folks in the middle who are getting squeezed from both sides. And policy revolution is more than holding the line on tax cuts, holding the line on taxes, I should say. Because holding the line is the same thing as saying the status quo is okay. And being the 48th ranked economy in job creation in the last 25 years is not okay. Losing 52,000 manufacturing jobs in calendar year 2009 is not okay. We need to cut structural taxes, cut the state income tax in half, cut the corporate income tax in half, eliminate the estate tax. One-time spending cuts, that's not enough either. Politicians' promises to rein in runaway state spending, we've been hearing that for 25 years. How's that working out? Statutory spending caps. Free state spending at its current level only allow for year-over-year growth equal to population growth plus inflation. You have to restrain the public sector from crowding out private sector investment if you want to see more of it. So it's very interesting to see what's happening in this race in terms of those folks who are embracing policy revolution. State Senator Steve Rauschenberger, who knows this field very well, is supporting me. Former Illinois Republican Party Chairman Gary McDougal is supporting me. Schaumburg and Niles and New Trier Townships have endorsed my candidacy because they know I'm asking the right question and I'm the only one with the right answer. And that question is, are you ready to turn Springfield upside down? And if the answer to that question is yes, then Dan Proft is your candidate for governor.
Thank you, Dan. Last up, DuPage County Chairman Bob Schillerstrom.
Thank you, Lee, and good morning. It's great to see so many Republicans out. 2010 is going to be our year, don't you think? And as Dan Brock says, it certainly hasn't been working very well in Springfield. We've given them the opportunity to run our state down there, and the one thing that they've done for sure is run it into the ground. So for the good of the people of Illinois, we as Republicans have to make sure that 2010 is our year. Now, you've heard a variety of promises and talk from my opponents. I think the thing that distinguishes me probably more than any one thing from them is I have walked the walk. Not only do I talk the talk, but I've walked the walk. I would urge you to look at my record. I am the only one with executive experience running a government. And that is obviously different than running a business. I did run a business for 20 years, but we need somebody who can go down to Springfield and say to the establishment, both Republican and Democrat, there's a different way of doing it. Somebody who'll say no. Somebody who'll shake things up. But most importantly, somebody who can say, there is a different way of doing it, and I know because I've been doing it. Just to the west of here, there's a county. It's bigger than 6 states. It's home to 1 million people, 750,000 jobs. We run a clean government, honest and ethical. We are one of the most transparent governments in the entire country. We have people from all over the country calling us. Our checkbook is online. If you want to know how much money we spend on coffee, you can find it out. Or anything else. And that's the way government should be. We do a couple of other simple things. Things that you'll never see in the state of Illinois unless you elect me as your next governor. We don't spend more than we have. We balance our budget every year. Most years, we end with a surplus. If we don't have it, we don't spend it. Our budget in 2010 is the same as it was in 2003. Our tax levy in 2010 is the same as it was in 1996. How do we do that? We look for efficiencies. We know that there are services that government must provide, but we know if we work at it and we're innovative that we can provide those services in an efficient way, and that is clearly not happening in the state of Illinois. You know, another thing that we've done that people don't usually hear about from government, we've reduced our property tax levy 8 out of the last 11 years. So when people talk about not raising taxes or cutting taxes, there's a difference between that talk and me because I've been doing it. Now, the other thing I think that we need to keep in mind is the people in Springfield have been there for a long time. Some of the people that are here have had their chance. We need a fresh face and a fresh approach. I'm not from Springfield. I'll take that fresh approach down there. And you know what? When I get down there, I'm going to work for you. I've taken a pledge. I'm the only candidate. I'm only going to serve 1 term. I won't raise money. I won't seek re-election. I won't be held hostage by the special interests. I'm going to be down there to work for you. I'll go down there, and like I've been doing for 11 years, I'll solve those problems. I'll balance that budget. I know how. I won't need on-the-job training. I'll make cuts. It'll be tough. I'll make a lot of people mad. But I'll make those cuts. I'll balance that budget. And then after I do that, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's time to bring business back to this state. Because the most important thing facing the people of this state are jobs. And I don't care if you're here or in southern Illinois. If you have a job, you want to keep it. If you don't have it, you want to get one. I've created jobs, 60,000 jobs in DuPage County. I know how to do it. The first thing is you don't raise taxes. You know with me, I won't raise taxes. And then you got to work at it. And I'll be the salesman for Illinois. I'll bring those jobs back. I'll put the people of Illinois back to work, and that's how we'll grow this economy. I can't do it alone. I ask for your help. On February 2nd, I ask you to take a Republican ballot and vote for Bob Schillerstrom for governor. If you want to know more about our campaign or get involved, go to our website, bobforillinois.com. Thank you for all you do. I look forward to taking our state back for us. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the candidates for governor again. We got quite an impressive field here, and I know whoever emerges